Meet James, a finance grad in London who thought CFA Level 1 was just another exam. He studied casually for 3 months, relied on YouTube summaries, and walked into the exam center with confidence. 3 hours later, he walked out crushed. Failed. And here's the brutal truth. James is not alone. Nearly half of CFA Level 1 candidates fail every single year. And the reason? Not because it's impossible, not because they aren't smart enough, but because they approach it the wrong way. If you're listening to this right now thinking, that won't be me, I'm smarter, I'll figure it out, I need you to pause. Because if you don't have a strategy, the exam will chew you up and spit you out. Today, I'm going to show you how not to be James. CFA Level 1 isn't like your university exams. It doesn't care if you got first-class honors or if you were the smartest in your finance program. This exam is different. The CFA Institute is testing something else, not your intelligence, but your discipline, your consistency, and your ability to manage time and pressure. The global pass rate? Usually around 40%, which means 6 out of 10 candidates walk away with nothing but months of lost time, stress, and disappointment. Now, let's be clear. The CFA program is not designed to be impossible, but it is designed to filter out anyone who isn't serious. If you think you can casually study here and there, watch some random YouTube videos, cram in the last month, and wing it, I guarantee you'll fail. Harsh? Yes. Necessary? Absolutely. Let's break some myths that ruin candidates before they even start. Myth number 1. You can pass just by watching summaries. Wrong. Summaries are supplements, not substitutes. Myth number 2. If you're already good at finance, CFA Level 1 will be easy. Wrong again. This isn't just finance, it's ethics, quantitative methods, reporting standards, fixed income, derivatives, and portfolio management, all in one. Myth number 3. CFA is just about memorization. No, it's about application. Memorization may help in your university finals, but in CFA, if you don't understand how to apply the concept under pressure, you'll fail. So here's the viral truth bomb. If you're preparing for CFA like it's your college exam, you've already failed. Now, let me share a different story. Meet Sarah, an analyst in New York. She worked a brutal 60-hour week, sometimes more. Yet she passed CFA Level 1 on her first attempt. How? She didn't rely on luck. She didn't rely on genius. She followed a system. Sarah committed over 300 hours of study, but not all at once. She spread it across 5 months, consistently. She didn't waste her time with every random PDF or course floating on Reddit. She focused. CFA Institute material, supplemented with Schwesser summaries. She built a daily routine, 2 hours every weekday evening, 5 hours on weekends. Nothing extreme, just consistent. She started mocks 2 months before her exam, working through question banks like a machine. And guess what? She walked into that exam center with calm confidence, and she walked out with a pass. Her advantage wasn't talent, it was discipline, and her playbook is one you can follow too. Now, I know what you're thinking, not everyone's life looks like Sarah's. That's true, which is why I want to bring in more stories. Meet Ahmed, a student from Dubai. He was juggling his final year at university and preparing for CFA Level 1 at the same time. His biggest mistake? He underestimated the workload. He thought, I'm already studying finance in college, CFA is just an extension. Wrong. He started 2 months before the exam, tried to cram 6 to 8 hours a day, and guess what? He failed. Because the CFA exam doesn't reward martyrs who burn themselves out the last month. It rewards consistency. On the other hand, there's Priya, an IT consultant in Singapore with zero finance background. She started 8 months in advance, studying a little every day, building up slowly. By the end, she was scoring 75% in her mocks. She passed, not because of her background, but because of her process. And then there's Daniel, a banker from Toronto. He thought he could outsmart the exam by buying every possible resource, Kaplan, Wiley, Arif Irfanullah videos, third-party notes, Reddit guides, Telegram groups, you name it. His study desk looked like a CFA library. The result? Paralysis. He spread himself so thin across resources that he never mastered one. He failed. The lesson? Don't confuse buying resources with buying success. Success comes from execution, not from drowning in material. Now, I want to give you the playbook. 6 rules that, if followed with discipline, will give you the best possible chance of passing CFA Level 1. Rule 1. Plan early, not late. The CFA Institute recommends around 300 hours. In reality, you need at least 5 to 6 months of structured prep. Trying to crash study in 2 to 3 months? That's like trying to run a marathon after training for a week. Sure, a handful survive, but most collapse. Rule 2. Prioritize by weightage, not by comfort zone. Ethics is 15 to 20%. FRA is another 15%. Quant, equity, and fixed income are huge chunks. Meanwhile, derivatives and alternatives are smaller sections. Yet what do most candidates do? They waste weeks trying to master low-weighted sections. Don't fall into that trap. Be ruthless with your time. Rule 3. Active recall is king. Passive reading, highlighting, and rereading? Useless. Your brain tricks you into thinking you've learned it when you haven't. What works? Flashcards, question banks, spaced repetition. Tools like Anki or CFA prep apps are gold. Rule 4. Practice over perfection. Stop trying to perfect your notes or reread the book until it feels right. You don't need perfect notes, you need practice. Start mocks at least 8 weeks before your exam. Aim for 6 to 8 full mocks. Here's a brutal fact: students who fail usually attempt less than 2 mocks. Students who pass average 6 or more. That's the difference. Rule 5. Treat ethics like the boss battle. It's not just another section. It carries weight, and worse, it can decide borderline passes. The CFA Institute has something called the ethics adjustment, which means if you're on the margin, your ethics score can push you up or drag you down. I've seen candidates who did well in FRA and Quant but flunked ethics and failed the whole exam. Don't take this lightly. And Rule 6. Build exam stamina. The CFA exam isn't just about knowledge. It's about endurance. 4.5 hours, 180 questions, back to back. If you don't train your brain to sit through long, timed mocks, your focus will collapse halfway. Remember this: you don't run a marathon by reading about running. You run a marathon by running. Let me give you another quick story here. Meet Sophia, a candidate in Frankfurt. She was brilliant, top of her class, scored well in practice questions. But she never trained under exam conditions. On exam day, she nailed the first half, then hit a wall. Her energy tanked, her focus slipped, she started second-guessing every answer. She failed by a small margin. If she had just done full-timed mocks, she would have passed. That's how important exam stamina is. If you're serious about passing CFA Level 1, here's my message: don't wing it. Don't rely on luck. Build a plan. Stick to it. Respect the exam. And if you want structured CFA strategies, breakdowns, and exam hacks that actually work, subscribe to CFA by Education Bench. I've taught thousands of finance students how to pass professional exams, and now it's your turn. Passing CFA Level 1 is not easy. But it's possible, if you do it the right way. The playbook is in your hands. The choice is yours.